Alright, video game warriors, welcome back to our Lies of P comprehensive walkthrough series. Hopefully you're doing alright. This is episode 10. Let's get cracking through. So we got to this arcade and we have to work our way through this bad boy. So let's go for it. We have carcass enemies in this section, which has just reminded me we need to switch the amulet over to the carcass amulet. Give this guy the old one too. That should do. So let's make sure to check our amulets. We've currently got puppet destroyers on, which ideally we don't really want. So we're going to put on carcass butcher's amulet instead. Increases damage inflicted on carcasses, which obviously is very, very useful in this area because there's loads of carcass enemies. So we're going to grab this key, which we'll use in just a sec. We probably should pop back to Hotel Quartz at some point soon as well. We have a side quest item, I believe, to pick up in this section, and we've got a couple of lies to tell at the hotel, I think. So yeah, let's just grab all these bits and bobs. We've got the key from over there. Shortcut there, but we get that a little bit later on through this section, and another one behind us. What we probably could do before we jumped too far into this arcade is do a little bit of cleanup on the side quests and stuff. So if we pop back to Opera House entrance, we've got a symbol of the record. So in the previous episode we spoke to an NPC and we gave her a red apple. So we gave her the apple before the boss fight. Then went and did the boss fight. Now that that's done, that will trigger a record to appear. Just trying to jog my memory to remember which way it actually is. It's this way. Gonna skip past those. And this way. Watch out for the disruption as per usual. And then follow this round, turn left, and we should get a record in here. So, red actress's locket and fascination record as well. So that's that. We've also got a bunch of stuff to do at the hotel, but we also have a cryptic vessel to solve. I've just remembered that we didn't solve one of the cryptic vessels in the previous episode, which is like go to a particular location. And we should have a gesture, which I believe that you start the game with, that's called check ground or something like that. So, yes, there is a gesture that's called check ground, which does exactly what it says on the tin, as you may have guessed, and checks the ground. So I just need to remember exactly which one it is, because it's a bit of a weird way to go to get back to this one. I'm pretty sure it's this alley on chapter 1. So we're going to go to this alley here in chapter 1. Later in the game you'll be locked out of traveling to this section for a little bit, but don't worry too much if you are locked out in your particular playthrough. If you've played through, you know, further than this or something, you can sort of like get back to this section a little bit later. But I have mentioned it again. I'll mention it again. I have mentioned it previously, but I'll mention it again here because it's quite important. Once this area changes, which it will do a little bit later in the game, this merchant will not be here. So once again, if you're going for all normal weapons in the game, there's an achievement for getting all normal weapons. You have to grab these weapons here. So the great sword, the rapier, and the puppet saber. So make sure to grab these before a certain point in the game. I think it's perhaps before the swamp section, or before the end of the swamp. Anyway, if memory serves, we're kind of like going to head this way and do this cryptic vessel. So we're going to go down the stairs, and I think it's through this way. Keep in mind that we actually decrypted the cryptic vessel earlier on. I think it was in the previous episode, or perhaps the one before that. All we need to do basically is just follow this down to this section where you can sort of like see Hotel Quartz there. Go to your gestures, whip out the old check ground, press use, and then there we go. We get a costume and Legion caliber. So that's that cryptic vessel. We've got loads of stuff to do at the hotel as well. I think there's a couple of lies that stack up here. So we have one lie with the sort of like reception guy puppet, and one lie with Antonia. We've also got blue butterflies, it looks like, on Sophia. So let's check what she's got to say. Antonia's condition is getting worse. I knew it would come to this. We're all safe thanks to her sacrifice. So that's that. So Antonia, I'm going to check me notes here. We'll probably do Antonia thing first. So we get a little cutscene here. So if memory serves, she's asking like, does she look as beautiful as she looked in this picture from a long time ago? And of course, the lie is, of course, which has picked up this disease. So don't spam too much because we need to. The lie is, of course. So do I still have a flicker of beauty captured in the portrait? Of course is the lie. So we're gonna lie. Lies of P. There we go. So we should get the springs reacting, ergo whispering, all that good stuff. He's becoming more human as we play through. Then she goes back to her old saying of people have no idea the secret's buried in crack. That line is going to be like burned into my memory for the rest of time. Okay, cool, so that's that. Let's just spam through the NPCs as per usual, make sure we're going to progress all the quest lines. Going to leave that guy for now. Let's leave him to it. We've also got another lie, if memory serves, which is we grab this letter on the counter here, and then we head out the back. And we talk to this puppet here. I always forget this puppet's name. Polendina? So the lie here is there's no such puppet. Don't spam too much. I'm going to be careful here so I don't spam it. So the lie is there's no such puppet. Let's go for that. Truth you already knew. So here I think he's asking like, is it possible for him to fall in love, or a puppet and a human to fall in love? And we basically say no. Although technically we did that quest a little bit earlier, that quest where we the guy had the puppet and the wedding ring, that kind of thing. So that's that. I think we're all wrapped up here. So he's not really got anything that we can grab. He's got no other conversation options. That's all good. No matter where fate brings us. Yeah, cool. So we exhausted that dialogue. Nice one. So far, so good. So that's the lies there. We'll do the old run around in the hotel. Basically, when you pop back to the hotel at this point, you end up doing like the same kind of like lap around the hotel. So you pick up the golden coins. Which is obviously for these like health regen stones here. I don't think I've mentioned it in a previous episode, but you can obviously buy other types of stones. It depends. I think a lot of these, if memory serves, are to do with like the spectres that you can summon in for the boss fights and stuff. So reduces spectres receive damage for a set period of time. So if you use spectres in the boss fights and stuff, these obviously might come in handy or might be helpful to you. The ones, I think there's only 3. Oh no, there's a few more. So you've got like health regen, increases max stamina, temporarily restores Legion. So those could be useful as well if you wanted to grab those. I've purposely left 2 gold coins there because we need to like have at least, I think, 1 or 2 gold coins for an upcoming section. So I tried to have like at least 2 on Pinocchio at the time, so we can use the gold coins when required. So we're going to head back in here. We've started to grow a little nose here in the portrait from all the lies. Great stuff, we're working towards that. Geppetto's got some extra dialogue, and then he goes back into his explaining stuff. So this is the next section of the game essentially, because we've got new explanations of new areas. So we've got Barren Swamp, Central Station, Grand Exhibition, all that stuff. So just spam through that, make sure you exhaust your dialogues as per usual. Don't think we've got any quartz. No. You don't remember much. Ask me about it. So that's that. We'll crack on forward. Wonder if we've got the Spring the Cat knocking about so we can check humanity. Not too sure. Yeah, we'll just once again spam through. Let's have a look what they've got to say. Nothing much. Have we got all the stuff from this guy? Just got cranks. I'm not really too fussed about those at the minute. Benini's got some extra dialogue. Nice one. We'll put fire on, flame grindstone for this, because we're going to be fighting carcasses in this next area. So fire is good versus carcasses. Modify, let's have a look. So we've got attack link. We do want to be working on the Pandemonium one at some point. It doesn't really matter too much, but I will be using Pandemonium a little bit later, which is very, very useful. So this is a Acid Legion arm, and this one, so Acid is really, really good against human type enemies. So it is a good idea to have that for specific fights. And if you're struggling with like the carcass enemies or carcass type boss fights, then the flame one is also good. So, but in this playthrough, I don't think I'll probably use anything different to what we're currently rocking. Once again, you know the drill. Just drop into the training area, stand still for a sec to get all your fable bars. Can we upgrade? We cannot. So I think that's that. I can see Spring the Cat. We won't have a lot of humanity at this point, but it's kind of building. It's still quite low. Takes a while. Takes a while to build the humanity. It starts, obviously it's super low. So I think that's that. I don't think we've got any more bobs to do here, so let's head on forward. Back to the arcade. A couple of sort of tough enemies coming up. Whereas in the arcade. Let's drop back there. Once again, video game warriors, if these videos are helping you out and stuff, please do drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. You know, share the channel, tell people it's good. I think YouTube also has hype points nowadays, so you can hype up a video. You can hype up 3 videos per week, so please do hype up this video if you think it deserves hype, and that would be awesome. Thank you so much if you do. Okay, so onto the arcade. We are gonna go this way. I think. Picked up a key earlier, so that will open one of the doors. Coming on up. Watch out for the enemies that like to jump us here. The rapier weapon is quite good on some of these enemies because you can kind of do that, like you know, jump back and poke type thing, which comes in handy sometimes. So that is that key on this gate. Let's get smashing through the old arcade, shall we? Keep in mind we got the carcass ring on. I'm going to spam. I'm not sure if it's the same as Dark Souls, but I spam L1 and R1 to try and break free a little bit quicker. So I don't know if you are aware of it, but if you get grabbed in like Elden Ring or Dark Souls or Bloodborne, you can spam L1 and R1 like really quick, and it can break you free of the grab a little bit quicker. It might just be R1 that does it, but I always just spam L1 and R1 like I'm playing some kind of like Mario Party minigame or something. So yeah, nothing too crazy in this section. There's a tough enemy down there. That's the wine cellar. So I don't know if you remember, in a previous episode we picked up a side quest for a lady who wanted some wine or a drink of some kind. I don't know if it's actually wine, but yeah, we need to pick up some wine in a sec. Ideally I want to switch targets to the other one. It's going to tank those hits. So we've got half moonstone there. I think puppet string can be handy on these. They can interrupt them and stuff, so just whip out the old string. There we go. I think there's a pretty rough enemy up here. Just be careful. I'm going to use durability grindstone. I think there was. Anyway, I think it's probably going to drop down for gas. Yeah, there we go. I think puppet string is going to be our best friend here, or not, as I just said that and completely missed it. Stamina's looking pretty terrible, so I'm just going to fall back on the old reliable Fable Arts there. That should do the trick. Yeah, the enemy is quite beastie, to be totally fair. The star fragment, I think that was all that was up there. Nothing too wild. Anyway, we're going to head down. Alright, so we're going to head on down here. Watch out for this enemy because he is quite tough. We're going to flame on and get ready for the fight. Let's go for it. He can pack a massive punch. So make sure to be using your blocks, your guard regain, perfect parries if possible. You can also use the environment to kind of like hide behind stuff, which doesn't seem to be the case at the minute. I'm trying to get around the column to show you, but ideally you want to be setting this guy on fire, because the fire will do most of the damage. It will sort of like be ticking his health down and all that good stuff, as you can see, and the fire damage is doing quite a large amount of damage. You can sometimes get behind these if you're struggling, which is what I was trying to show you, is you can sort of like jump behind these and maybe pop a pulse cell if you need to like heal up and break line of sight, because he sometimes goes into those like wombo combo attacks, and you can sometimes get him stuck behind these columns and stuff. So if you need to like heal up, you can sort of hide behind a post and pop some pulse cells and stuff while he's doing his crazy spin to wins. So that is that. I don't think there's anything too crazy in this section. We just need to keep our eyes peeled for that bottle of wine, which we'll grab for the side quest at some point. Monad Charity House. And we go there in the DLC. I know I keep hyping up the DLC, but honestly it's really, really good. Very excited to jump into it. Okay, so we've got a locked door there. This bit is a little bit of a maze, but it's not too bad. I think we can go get that from a different angle. I can't remember exactly where that is, but I think we're going to go and pick up a key first and then head into that section. So let's go grab the key to that section. Keep on top of your durability as per. Once again, fire is quite good here, but you should be able to get this guy without flame on, but we'll see how we go. Might resort to an abrasive. Charged R2. Take out this ad. I think we picked up a defensive part as well for defeating that spin to win enemy in the basement. Charged R2. So it's much easier if you can get like a stance break and stagger these bad boys. They hit for a lot of damage as well. So that's that. Let's crack on forward. We've got 5 levels that we can get, which we probably should level up at some point soon. Keep forgetting to do it. Go back up here. Just using puppet string essentially to kind of like Spider-Man into this dude, and then a couple of jabs. Back up. Charge R2. With the rapier, it's like the last poke of the charged R2 that gets the stagger, so it doesn't matter if the first few pokes actually hit or not. Just that's why I went for the third one there to get the stagger. So that's that. So I'll push on forward. Little things will like drop on your head here, so just watch out for those sort of like falling things. Pulse cell is back in action. And those things also do like a decay explosion, as you can see there, so watch out for the decay explosion when you defeat them. If you're like super close, you'll just get insta-decayed, almost like we just did there. So in this section, I think we have a merchant. Got like a text item around the back, we'll just spam through that. Shortcut here, we've got a merchant. I'm pretty sure this merchant's also got a normal weapon. So once again, if you're going for normal weapons, make sure to grab that from this merchant. We've got a key which we'll need to use in a sec. We'll grab this shortcut here as well. And we'll rest at a Stargazer in a sec so we can get all our stuff back. So here's all the bits and bobs. You've got a normal weapon there, the chainsaw, circular electric chainsaw. Like I say, a lot of weapons and a lot of stuff in this game I think is very sort of Bloodborne influenced, because there's weapons like that on Bloodborne. We'll get this amulet, although I probably won't use it to be totally honest. Resistance of disruption, shock break, why not? Maybe get some of these fire things, maybe get some fire throwables, fire abrasives. I will be using those abrasives, so might as well pick them up. That is that. I think the actual way to go is on the other shortcut that we... Oh no, the way to go is just near the merchant, so I'm actually going to backtrack the other way for a sec. So we can rest up and get all our I was going to say Stargazers back. I mean, Pulse Cells back is what I'm trying to say. So Sophia's got some quest stuff at Hotel Quartz. We can also level up. So I'm going to bring these up a little bit. I'm trying to keep the capacity under 60% if possible. Like the carry weight under 60%. So that's why I keep popping a few points into capacity. So we're going to go for some health. The health also helps with the guard regain as well. So that's like super useful to go for that. I think we'll just carry on cracking through before going back to Hotel Quartz. Make sure to let me know in the comments, Video Game Warriors, how you're getting on with Lies of P as well. You know, how's your build going? Things like that. What level is your character at the Moski? Is it your first playthrough? Is it your first Souls-like game? Do you enjoy these kind of games? You know, let me know all that good stuff. So we're going to head back down here, and we can now open this gate. We'll use that key that we got earlier. So Arcade Underground Passage. And yeah, let me know if you're going for the sort of good ending as well. Or people class it as a good ending. Yeah, 3 endings in this game. These enemies are hitting really hard, so I think we'll probably just check the defensive parts in a sec. Also, I was thinking about like a game name for game number 2, because I'm assuming they probably won't. If they don't call it Lies of P2, they'll probably call it Lies of something else, if that makes sense. Like Lies of P, or then like Lies of D, or Lies of E, or something like that. Perhaps. That's just a guess anyway. Anyway, let's have a look at the defensive parts. We do indeed have an extra defensive part, which is probably intended to be put on in this section because we're getting pounded by a lot of these attacks. That takes us to slightly heavy. I'll leave that for now. Have we got a decay resistance? We do. I think the intended thing to wear here, by the looks of it, is probably this. Well, that puts us on slightly heavy. I think I'm just going to go for it anyway, and then I'll put some points into capacity later. It's all good. What else we got here? So resistance to disruption, break, shock. That puts our physical damage reduction rate up a little bit, so I'm just going to whip that on. And the liner we've got on slash attacks, which is probably bad for this area to be totally fair, so probably should have strike. So we're going to have change the liner over to resistance to strike attacks, because as a guess, a lot of these will be classed as strike attacks, which should help us out a little bit more. Okay, we can also use the resistance to decay ampules as well, so don't forget you've got those ampules. You can use one of those, I think it's the blue ones. Yes. So you can use those for some extra decay resistance if you want. Just keep in mind that those ampules are temporary. It's going to be quite rough to try and get this, but we'll go for it. Watch out for these bad boys. I can tell that my stamina regen is like slightly less. It's because we're classed as slightly heavy on the equip load. So Pinocchio will run a little bit slower as well. But like I say, it's not the end of the world. Like if you're running a little bit slower, it's cool. Like it's not game breaking or anything. I think I'm trying to remember if there's a safe in one of these areas. Like my brain is telling me that there's a safe somewhere. It's up ahead. I thought it was there, but I was wrong. It's this section. This could go very, very wrong. I was a bit greedy there. Went for the... Probably going to get decay here, but I'm just going to mission through it. I used a Fable Arts attack there. And we flamed on, so we could be hyper aggressive. Nice one. And we're going to get the durability up. So decay takes your weapon durability down, and I'm pretty sure it kind of like eats away at your health as well, like a poison type thing. So normal weapon in there, Spear of Honor. So we'll grab that. Nothing too crazy coming on up, it's just slice and dice. Now as we kind of like head through this arcade, we'll bag that shortcut there. Let's get cracking through. We've got Grand Exhibition coming up as well, with quite a tough boss in Grand Exhibition. We've got like a quest in that section as well that we need to like talk to an NPC to activate their quest line. So here we went right before, now we're going to go left. Carry on going down this section. Watch out to the left hand side, the enemy will kind of sprint in here. Just gotta be careful not to get overwhelmed. I think the way to go is down in that shop there, but we're just going to grab some bits and bobs first. And we shall go from there. Like I say, Video Game Warriors, if you do enjoy these videos and stuff, then do feel free to pop a like and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Massively, massively appreciate it if you do. Thank you so much. So we've grabbed a shortcut which brings us back to the Stargazer once again. The enemy's just sort of like charged out of the way of the puppet string there. So because we got the shortcut and it's back at the Stargazer, we might as well rest so we can get all our pulse cells back before continuing. So let's do that. Rest up. Also, Video Game Warriors, I've released my own video game. It's available to buy now on Steam. The game is called Loki the Lynx. It's a 2D colourful platformer collectathon where you've got to collect shiny coins and collect key cards and rescue your friends from the dastardly Dr. Amygdala. I spent 12 months of my life making it, 15 hours a day for 12 months. I'm super proud of it. I could not have made that game any better if I had tried. If you want to support me and you want to support the channel and you want to support my content, stuff like that, then please do go buy Loki the Lynx, check it out, give it a positive review, tell people it's good, all that good stuff. I'm massively grateful if you do. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to head on back towards the shortcut that we just popped open, and we've got to keep our eyes peeled for the wine. So we've got a lady who really likes her wine. So we've got to make sure we grab that. Pop that back to her in a sec. We'll just spam through that. Something hidden behind here. I think we might be able to level up the sword soon, to be totally fair. I think we picked up some upgrade materials and stuff like that. Let's head on down here. I think there's another kind of tough-ish enemy that jumps out, so just be careful. Make sure to have your durability popped up. Yeah, it's like a puppet type enemy. We'll probably could use electric abrasive. I'll just use the fire one anyway. So just be careful of, as you approach that, you're going to get jumped by this dude here. And yeah, it can be quite tough. Just be careful. Electric would be a better choice to use on this guy. Better than fire, but it's all good. I'm just going to go for fire because that's what we got. There are some enemies that kind of like try to join this fight. If you're fighting for a little while, the carcass enemies will kind of like get involved. Sometimes they go for you, sometimes they go for this enemy here. They kind of like fight each other. Trying to go for stance breaks if possible. So yeah, if you just back up a little bit, sometimes you can just leave them to it and just get all the ergo. Hunter's Amulet there. That is a super important amulet. I tend to have that on pretty much most of the time. So what we'll probably do, I think, is switch out Nameless One's amulet for Hunters. So this is increased ergo when killing enemies. So basically just more ergo rewarded for each enemy defeated, which definitely adds up over time. So I'm just going to swap that out for Hunter's Amulet for now. So I tend to use like Hunter's Amulet when I'm just doing normal areas like this and just kind of, you know, smashing through the game. And then when I get to a boss, I'll probably like take it off and then put the Nameless One amulet back on for the boss. Here's the wine, I think it is. Oh, no it's not. The balance crank. Here's the wine. Yeah, I knew it was around here somewhere. So key item, make sure to grab that that wine there. We'll need to take that back to the NPC a little bit later. So a bit more slice and dicing. Careful of getting overwhelmed once again. You can be. I'm really feeling this carry weight on my stamina regen. So yeah, we probably should pop some points into capacity to try and keep the stamina regen a bit better and a bit faster, that kind of thing. So back up to this section once again. I quite like the level design of this particular area. It's quite intricate. I enjoy it. It's like every sort of shortcut and stuff always leads back to this stargazer, which is cool. So you can talk with Vanini here, so we're going to spam through that. Might put 1 point into capacity if I can here. Go for it. So that's that. I don't think there's much more in this area as far as my memory goes. Just trying to remember. So we can push on forward. We do have a riddle coming on up, but the riddle is in the, I think it's called Grand Exhibition. So we'll pop this bad boy open. And this is kind of like, once again, like a connector area between the arcade and the Grand Exhibition. So there is a missable side quest in the Grand Exhibition, so you do have to be careful. I believe that you have to talk to a particular NPC before you either fight the boss or defeat the boss. I'm not sure if it's to fight the boss and just, you know, start the encounter, or actually defeat the boss. But either way, I'll point out the NPC. And they are kind of hidden quite well, to be totally fair. On my first playthrough, I completely missed the NPC. So they're inside this giant building over here. I'll point them out when we get there. So that is that. You can't open these doors or gates or anything just yet, so just hang a fire on those. And if we, you'll notice, if we unequip armor and stuff like that, we run significantly faster. So like, I don't know if it'll be, you know, noticeable here at this point, but that's kind of like the run speed now. Then if you go to defensive parts and take some stuff off, it's not that much different, to be totally fair, with just one part. But yeah, if you get that down, essentially you're faster and more agile and stuff like that. Give these guys the old 1-2. Puppet string can be useful when they're not blocking. There we go. And these cause the break status, so I don't think I've covered the break status just yet, so I probably should do that. With break, as far as I'm aware, I think it like instantly applies instead of like building up, if that makes sense. So like if you compare the other status elements where like you, like decay for example, you have to get hit loads and loads of times with decay, and then eventually you are afflicted with decay. A little bit different for break. I believe I might have to just kind of brush up on this, have a quick read through of break, but I'm pretty confident it applies straight away, and it reduces the amount of healing that you receive from your pulse cells. So if you see the break status ailment on your screen and you use a pulse cell, just expect that the pulse cell is going to heal you for less than it normally would do. So you just want to keep that in mind if you see the break status on your screen. Ideally, electric would be better here. I'm actually going to use an abrasive instead of the special. I'm going to open this with a Fable. Charged R2. Charged R2. I'm going to back up here. Ideally we want to break this guy's stance. Sometimes easier said than done. Just trying to make sure the third one actually hits him. He's really good at like interrupting your attacks. So that's why I'm trying to like play it safe and just get like the third one to give him a poke. A good time to attack is when he like punches the ground like he just did then. That's a super good time to get in your attacks. He's got quite a large health pool, but ideally if you can get electric on him, I believe that's good, with him being a puppet. Be careful, he packs a massive punch. Couple of pokes and he should be down. I'm just looking at his health bar thinking, please. Please. There we go. Shock cartridge, so shock resistance there, nice one. Sure, that'll come in useful at some point. Yeah, if memory serves, I don't think there's anything like too much around here, just a few. We'll pick up that ampule. And then we can head on up, I believe. Yeah, so that's that area cleared out. We can head on up towards the Grand Exhibition, so we shall do that. Hopefully you're enjoying Lies of P so far, Video Game Warriors, and hopefully you're enjoying this series. I do want to say a massive thank you. Like, if you've been watching this series so far and you've got to this episode, I'm massively grateful. So thank you so much for watching the videos all the way through and stuff. Super grateful. Thank you so much. So yeah, other than that, we're just going to head on inside. Pull the old lever. Yeah, this will be quite a long series. I think it's probably going to end up being like 31 episodes or 32 episodes or something like that. It's quite a lengthy game, and they've obviously got the DLC to smash through as well. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching the videos and stuff. Very grateful to you. Thank you so much. Right, so Grand Exhibition is next on the list. With a hidden away NPC, we do need to keep our eyes peeled for the NPC as we play through. Grab these ladders, head on down. And yeah, some pretty beefy enemies in this section. They can hit hard, and the boss can be difficult, but we'll use some tactics to make it a bit easier. So we're going to grab that Stargazer, we're going to whip open these doors. This is just a shortcut back to the section that we were at before, over there. As you can see, it's at the entrance to the exhibition. But yeah, other than that, Video Game Warriors, I think we shall wrap this one up here. So do pop the video a like if you do enjoy the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.